Man, I haven't made a video in forever. Let's start a new series. I'll totally continue. Howdy, folks. Moki here. You know, Moki dude. Read that. Yeah, that's me. Anyways, recently, well, to be honest, I've been struggling with procrastination and self-esteem, but that's for my parents. That's for my therapist to help me through. Anywho, I've been doom scrolling and consuming content about one of my favorite games, noticing that, hey, this is getting awfully popular nowadays. If you use the bit of that brain you've got on that massive forehead, you know the game I'm referring to is Warframe, a sci-fi roguelike
Ew. I don't want this shit.
pirate simulating.
A rusty razor, skill belly, whatever. Ah, fuck. Ah, shit. Ah, damn. Ah. Oh, I hope that buffs out.
Tower descending,
Down the hole!
fishing,
Ha! Ah! I think it might be a trout.
skateboarding,
Horror, 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 horror.
romancing, gambling, looter shooter made by Digital Extremes. With the sudden influx of Baby Tenno joining our favorite free-to-play toxic relationship, there is going to be a few road bumps they'll encounter. That's where my arrogant and not funny ass comes in. Having played the game for about 8 or 9 years now, it's safe to say I've obtained as much knowledge about the game as Sun Tzu knows about drawing war. Now that the intro is done, let's get to the part you're here to either watch intently or leave in your background, neglecting me just like Papa Moki did. Let's get to modding. Bear in mind this video is going to be mainly targeted towards newer players and other casuals, but vets are free to watch as well. Who knows, maybe I might mention something that you don't know. Yeah, right. That's the wrong button. If you're just starting out, I suggest you play the teacher quest first. While it doesn't do the system much justice, it's good for getting warmed up, like slightly dipping your toes in the pool to see if it's cold before cannonballing straight into the deep end before proceeding to drown because you forgot to blow up your floaties. Yeah, in all honesty, this quest sucks buns, but that's why I'm making this video. So thanks, D. Anyways, here we are at the upgrade screen with my boy Volt. Right off the bat, you're probably going to be overwhelmed by the empty space. But don't worry. All you gotta do with this game is take your time and read. Trying to speed through everything's only gonna drive you mad and annoy you. Slow down and read. Be patient, like a wise old spinjitzu master. First off, let's look over here on the top left. Mod capacity. Your mod capacity is as the name implies, the capacity you have for your mods. Each mod has its own drain value that gets higher each time you upgrade a mod and make it stronger. Peep this vitality mod. Its drain value is that of 2. So when I slot it into one of Volt's empty spaces here, it'll subtract 2 from my 60/60. Now, let me slot in a fully ranked vitality which has one of 12, aka plus 10. Keep this. Watch what happens when I slot vitality into this mod slot that shares the same symbol as it. It halves the drain. These symbols are known as polarities, and each mod falls into a different category. Match the polarities and get a reduced drain value so you can add more mods.
But what's this?
I can't slot this mod that's supposed to give me and my squad more melee damage. That's cause this is a special kind of mod, an aura mod. Aura mods are too cool and nonchalant to hang out with the other dorks, so they get their own slot up here. They're so cool in fact that not only do they give you a specific buff for you and your squad, but once you slot them in, instead of subtracting from your mod capacity, they'll add onto it. And just like the polarities from before, if you slot in a matching aura mod to the matching polarity, you get a double additional value. So instead of 9, we're getting 18 to work with. Now this is cool and all, but I have a feeling a few folks are wondering how the hell I even have 60 mod capacity in the first place. 2 things, potatoes and leveling. What does that mean? Yeah, I'll get to that. These guys are what the community calls potatoes. They'll double your mod capacity from its default max level of 30 to a primo 60. The bronze ones are for warframes and pets, known as the Orokin Reactor, and the blue ones are the Orokin Catalyst, made for weapons. They only cost 20 platinum in the market, and before you think that means the game's pay to win, remember that you can trade items with other players to get some plat. Even then, you don't necessarily need all the capacity when starting out. It's only when you get to higher tier missions and better mods that you actually need the taters. I wrote this. I actually wrote taters. Okay. And besides, you can just make more polarity slots for now, using these guys. Meet the Forma, a Warframe player's bane and favorite thing to feed their murder bots, especially if they play Sevagoth. Speaking from experience before he had a prime. What they do is essentially prestige your weapon, resetting the rank of your weapon or frame back to 0 in exchange for giving you a polarity of your choosing.
Well, thank you, Mr. Monkey Man. This is so cool. But how do I actually mod my Warframe? All you did was play dictionary and glossary.
Shut up, don't call it my bad pace. Looky here to the left again. See all these fun numbers and stats? This is what your mods will actually be affecting. Going down the list, we've got health. I don't think you need me to explain this one to you. It's your health bar. If it hits 0, have fun respawning at the cost of some XP. Next up is shields. They're your first defense against the D-bags trying to kill you. Once they break, they'll give you a brief moment of invincibility before whatever's trying to kill you eventually does because you didn't move out the way. Shields are weak to elemental effects such as shock, magnetic, and toxin. Toxin being unique as it actually just ignores your shields and goes straight for your health. After your shields break, they'll need a moment to recharge. Armor, which is just natural damage reduction for your health, and your health only. The higher it is, the more it's going to take to hurt your health. Armor is weak to corrosive and heat. Do not try to climb Ember's Fire-tastic Badonkadonk, you will die.
No pain, no gain.
Energy. This is the resource your abilities will be using. Each ability has its own drain when you cast an ability, which can be modified in this section I'm about to get right into because I don't think I have to explain what sprint speed is. Unless you're a Gauss player, you're probably not going to touch this stat at all. That or Grendel.
I'm such a fat fucking chud.
So what the freaky flux rifle are these stats? These are purely your ability stats. Duration is how long your ability will last. Efficiency is how much energy you're going to be gobbling up every time you cast your ability. It is not how fast the cast time will be, as the name implies. Range is its area of effect, and strength, I mean, come on, man, you're a smart one.
Is that how strong the ability is?
There you go, bud. You get 1 Amber Star. I can't tell you how to build your Warframe, so to speak, as all frames are different and every player is different. What I think is right might not be fun for you. Build your frame how you play. How I build for mine is based on general usage and caster fun. Something like this. I don't mess around with efficiency all that much because personally I find it to be a useless stat. Plus, why mod for reduced energy drain when I can make my abilities worth the amount they take? Anyways, let's move on to the main show, weapon modding. Arguably the more difficult portion of modding. Weapons follow about the same basic principles as Warframe modding. Playing with the strong suits, manage your mod capacity, and add some variation if you wanna. Our test subject for this section of the video will be my Automat Kalashnikova made in 1947, a weapon you can get after progressing in the main story, and once you hit MR12. On the top left here, you'll get a basic rundown of your weapon stats, which for the most part you don't necessarily need to mess with as most weapons feel pretty good on their own. Fun fact, if you hover your cursor over the stats, you can get a bit more info out of them. This can be also done with Warframes. If you think I'm bad at explaining stuff and I don't put enough info for you, dick. Anyways, what we're messing with is the damage section of the stat display, which shows us our chance to hit a critical shot, the multiplier value, our status chance, and our damage plus all the status effects. My AK-47 comes with a puncture status effect innately. Puncture is one of the 3 innate physical damage types, which goes impact, puncture, and slash, commonly referred to as IPS, not to be confused with IBS. What does this mean? I have no clue. But what I do know is that these 3 statuses have their own effects I'll get into during the elemental overview. Just know if a weapon has one instead of another IPS stat, that doesn't mean it sucks. Unless it's impact. Going back to our critical chance and damage, critical chance is self-explanatory. It's the percentage in which you have a chance to hit a stronger shot, i.e. a crit shot. The fun part, however, is just because you have a 100% critical chance doesn't mean you've hit the pinnacle of damage you can with your weapon, as you can actually push past the value of 100% and get yourself the next tier of crit, a big crit. Yep, that's its official name. They work like this. Yellow is an average, orange is a big crit, and red is a super crit. but don't ever refer to them by their official names. I'm like 95% sure the other 10 will have no idea what you're talking about when you say super crit. Just refer to them by their color.
Moki? Hey, the freak, would we want to do an orange or red crit?
Elementary, my dear Watson, to maximize the hell out of this stat right here. Your crit damage multiplier. Your crit damage is a multiplier which applies after you hit a crit. It'll take the total sum of your total damage, which is this number right here, and multiply it by the value here. Hitting a yellow crit multiplies it by the value you see here. Hitting an orange will double this value and then multiply it. And hitting a red will triple this value and then multiply it by your total damage. I had no clue that's how this worked, by the way. I learned this with you. Anyways, next up is statuses and elements. How fun. Statuses and elements. Personally, the thing I focus on when making my weapons. Your status chance affects how often you'll be proccing these elements.
Moki, what the...
Shut up, fool, I just learned it too. It means a programmed random occurrence. What an extremely nerdy way to say chance. When these elements proc, they'll inflict a different status effect depending on whatever element this is. The script says get ready to start listing off info, future Moki. Okay. Impact makes people trip out and makes it so that you can mercy kill them sooner. Puncture makes enemies do less damage and more likely to get critted. Slash makes people bleed over time, ignoring armor but not shield. Heat burns people and reduces armor by 50%. Cold freezes folks and buffs your crit damage against them. Electricity shocks the hell out of folks and works similar to Slash, but instead of ignoring armor, it'll chain lightning to others near the shocked victim, making them do the Harlem Shake. Toxin will ignore shields and damage health, but not bypass armor like Slash will. Sounds a bit complicated, no? Well, hold on, I'm not finished. God damn it. Because when you slot in two elemental mods such as Cold and Heat, you create a combined element that comes with a new effect. Blast will explode after 10 stacks of it proc onto an enemy, or if that enemy dies, damaging folks around them or their corpse. Corrosive melts armor by 26%, topping off to 80 at 10 stacks. Gas farts on... Gas fart... Okay. Gas farts on people. Say the fucking line. Say the line. Yeah. How long am I gonna do this for, bro? Lock in. Gas farts on me. Gas farts on P. Fuck. Gas farts on... Stop it. Gas farts on people and makes them choke. Gas farts on people and makes them choke, dealing damage over time in a 3-meter clown. God damn it. Gas farts on people and makes them choke, dealing Gas farts on people and makes them choke, dealing damage over time in a 3-meter cloud. Magnetic Shred Shield and Overguard. Overguard is an extra health bar that makes both Tenno and enemies immune to statuses. Radiation makes enemies beat the spit out of each other, and Viral amps damage to health. Got all that? No? Alright, that's fair. Here's what you'll mainly be running if you're just playing casually. Magnetic, Corrosive, Heat, Viral, Electricity. I'm not saying use all these elements together, as that is literally impossible, but those are the elements you'll most likely be using in your builds, such as this one right here. Finally, we come to the end of possibly the first episode to The Casual's Guide. There were a few things I'm sure I've missed, the main one I'm aware of being arcanes, but I plan to give those expensive jerks their own video. That being said, I implore you to leave a comment about how much smarter you are than me. Share your knowledge with anyone else who may come upon this video. Anyways, before I continue making this ending longer than the intro, I'll be signing off here, my fellow geeks and dweebs. Thank you to Digital Extremes for making this wonderful game I've been obsessed with growing up. Thank you to Warframe Flow and Lazar Gaming for teaching me all I know about the finer details of Warframe. And a big thank you to Chao Chakwa for drawing the monkey you've been cursed to see anytime you're checking out something that involves me. Finally, thank you. Yeah, that's right. You. The person who's still here. Thank you for clicking on this video and watching up to this point. I hope you plan to check on me and my content more often. Follow me on TikTok at Fried Orca Fillets. Weirdo. Have a good morning / afternoon / evening / night. I'll see you next time.
Grab it, what the fuck?